Hey, yo, episode 30 of the Who Effing Knows podcast. The official podcast today. Oh, David West edition today. I forgot to bring that up. I'm kind of rolling through. Things are a little bit wonky today. I don't have Dave by my side. I'm not as calm and at ease as normal. Um, but with that being said, the official podcast of overly optimistic fans everywhere. Apparently, we're on a roller coaster ride here. Um, but with that, I wanted to introduce. We have someone filling in for Dave tonight or today, whatever time it is. The lovely face of the franchise, as I'm going to refer to you from here on out, Rel Myers.
Well,
Just to give you a shout out, co-founder of Pels 12, co-host of Pels and Whistles podcast. So very well known. Thank you for joining us tonight. But say hello, talk to me.
yeah. Thanks for having me, man. I told Dave I was gonna take over. You better watch out. Coming for your spot.
Yeah. So Dave, for everybody knows, Dave just had a baby last night. Healthy baby
Amazing.
boy. Yeah. So healthy baby boy. I was messing with him. I think he posted to Twitter earlier, but ever since his child's been born, the Pels are now on a win streak. So
I mean, hey, I like it. Are we
yeah,
naming the baby Zion or Brandon or what's up?
I think it's I think it's Zayden or something like that. So still in line with
All
the Zion theme.
right. Yeah, we can get
I'll
jiggy
give
with
him
that.
that. I was messing with him. We have a private Discord for like the no members. And they kept asking him if they were going to name his child Patty, and I just kept giving him shit about it, just constantly.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah, right. The next,
Maybe
I
his
was like,
middle
hey,
name.
it's gender neutral. Like you can go either way with it. It's fine.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
We'll make it work. Um, but no, just I always kick things off kind of fun here, just to get the ball rolling. I just
Yeah.
messed with you a little bit before we started and said sometimes these things go really long. We're gonna try and keep it short tonight. Things to do. There's a fun spaces after this that we want to jump into. But
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so you won. This is something I was thinking of. I listened to the recent podcast you and Salerson put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a little birdie told me, actually the podcast told me, that you won big money on the Orlando Magic game.
It was so big. It was so big. I put like $7 on that game and I won $18.90
Yeah.
balling, straight up
Hell
balling.
yeah.
I typically, I talk about it a lot on there. I usually bet $1. Sometimes maybe like, 2, 3, usually no more than 5. It's been a long time since I bet like 10, but I saw the Pelicans were 5-point favorites and I was like, yeah, okay. So I bet
Hell
against
yeah.
them. In worst case
Hell yeah.
scenario, I'd just be out of $7, but at least we win and stop the losing streak, So that's my thought process when it comes to betting. I typically will almost always bet against the Pelicans.
That's fair. I mean, I like the mindset too. I like the mindset of, hey, either I'm going to win or I'm going to win, right?
Yeah.
Like one way or the other,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this happy. Unless things just really go sideways. And then it's like, but
Right.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
So
No, the
sometimes I even
reason
forget. So it's whatever. I don't bet on every game.
that's fair. The reason I ask is I had an interesting topic I wanted to bring up, and I really was just curious. You mentioned that you were going to take that money and you were going to go get crawfish. Dave and I talk food a lot on this thing.
Yeah.
So, what is Rel's go-to crawfish spot that you could spend $18 and get some crawfish at? That's what I want to know.
I'd never be able to spend $18 to get enough crawfish. You know what I mean? But I grew up going to Castnet in the East, so that's my number one. But living in like deep Metairie, I'm not going to the East to get no crawfish. When I
It's a
lived in
drive.
Kenner, right? Like I'm not doing all that. When I lived in Kenner, I used to go to Harbor or Fisherman's Cove. It's right up
Gotcha.
the street, no big deal. So that fire. Like I used to stop there on my way home, coming from serving tables and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna just give me some crawfish, kick my feet up, whatever. And I don't live in Kenner no more, so I don't want to go to Kenner. Even though I'm in deep Metairie, it's like I'm close to Kenner, but I feel like there's other places I could go. So there used to be a bevy on airline. Now it's called like Bon Ton Seafood.
Mm-hmm.
So I just go get some there. It's right around the corner. The owner's nice, and the seafoods, it's cool. The crawfish is flavored nicely. The fixins aren't flavored the same. It's almost like the fixins are boiled in like regular water. So I get a couple heads of garlic. I gotta have some garlic with it. And
Okay.
there's a drawback to that. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm just gonna tell you, you have a lot of garlic, you're gonna be real gassy. But it just is what it is. Nobody warned me, so now I'm gonna warn you.
There you go.
Be careful.
No, that's great. It's funny. I loved Bevy when it was there. So I used to live over there too back in the day.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
mom doesn't live far from there. My mom swears by, is it Le Bonton or Bonton? I don't know the name of it.
I
You
think
just
it's
said
just
it,
Bon
but
Ton. It's Bon Ton seafood, I think.
yeah.
Bon Ton Boulet seafood. It's too much going on. I just call it Bon Ton.
My mom, I love her to death, but she texted me out of the blue one day. She's like, I found this new great crawfish spot. You got to check it out. And like, she's always I always laugh because I'm like, sure, whatever.
She's
But I
embellishing.
actually, yeah, yeah. I actually gave it a chance and it was good.
Yeah.
Same thing though. I noticed the fixins
Yeah.
weren't much. They weren't doing much.
What are
Which is
your? I mean,
fun.
I know I said I get the garlic, and I always get potatoes and corn, and it's mostly the potatoes that need some help. The potatoes seem like they don't really have anything going on, so that's where the garlic really comes into play. But what fixings do you get?
It depends. So there's two versions of me. um
Depends on which side of the bed you wake up.
Yeah, it really depends. No, I used to love the potatoes back in the day.
Mm,
I've kind of changed my appetite, my diet a good bit over the last couple of years. Now
mm,
it's more I just the sausage, um,
okay.
which is weird. A lot of people aren't big sausage in the boil. Some people think it makes crawfish a little oily. I'm big on
Oh yeah.
sausage. I'm big on corn. I like the corn.
Mm.
And interesting side note, Brussels sprouts, like something that's not normally in a boil. Love me
Yeah.
some good Brussels.
I've never had Brussels sprouts in a boil, but I do like Brussels sprouts a lot. Um, that sounds so good right now. I like broccoli in there every now.
Oh
Like if
yeah.
there's broccoli just laying around, or like I've seen pineapple in there
Yeah, yeah,
before,
yeah.
all types of stuff, man. But
Yeah,
I
one
don't do
too.
like I never do sausage. I don't be wanting sausage in anything I eat these days. I know some people are gonna hear that and try to make some weird, crazy connection. But
Come on, guys.
I just I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like it's almost like I got burnt out. It's almost like I had too many dishes with sausage, and now when I have it, it's like I just like pick around it. I just don't even want it anymore. It's weird.
I hear you. I'm actually really picky about what sausage is in it too. Like I will
Mm-hmm.
only do the kielbasa. Like I don't even do smoked sausage,
Oh
things like that.
yeah.
Which people will come at me sideways over there, like, yo, what the like kielbasa? Come on, man. But I don't know. It soaks up the spices better. Like I just prefer it. So it's
Yeah,
just my
see,
thing.
you very refined palate. A lot of people don't pay attention to these things,
There you
soaking up
go.
the sauce better and stuff like that. People ain't paying attention to that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the compliment. Refined palate.
uh,
With
yeah,
that,
yeah.
the reason there's levels to this shit. I'm just realizing like I had a thought process coming in. I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about that. I also wanted
Yeah.
to play a fun little game here. Which there's another game later we're gonna play, which I
Ooh,
alluded
more
to
games.
earlier.
Okay. Multiple
Yeah,
games.
there's two games tonight. This one's food related. Second one will be basketball related. We'll get to the basketball talk.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, but this is kind of sports related, I guess, just in the concept. Start, bench, cut. We're
Ooh,
going
man. Yeah, let's
craw
do it.
Yeah, we're going crawfish, shrimp, and oysters. Start, bench, cut.
I'm
Easy. It
starting.
looks
Yeah,
easy.
man. I'm starting
Okay.
crawfish. I'm benching shrimp and I'm cutting oysters. Now, I will say I've always been like a really picky eater. And over the last like somewhere between the last like 8-10 years, I've opened up to like trying more things. I didn't have oysters for a long time. And then I tried them and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. But recently, over here in Deep Metairie on Transcontinental Airlines, shortstop po' boys, right? I order online from them like 3 days a week now. I have like developed this
Ooh,
terrible habit where I kick by me boys to the curb and I'm always going to shortstop. I
can't
was
do
trying to
that.
order I was trying to order a shrimp po' boy and they didn't have it. Like it wasn't on the website at all. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just go for the fried oyster? So then for a couple days straight, I was like, that fried oyster sounded kind of good. So I'm just now kind of like, tapping into oyster territory. But yeah, crawfish is always gonna be number one. Shrimp, yeah, I'd bench shrimp easily. And then oysters would just have to go. I could live without them.
That's fair. I used to think like that. I'll give you that. I'm gonna give two thoughts here.
I don't have a refined palate.
No. It's not even that. I'm just thinking too much. I'm thinking deeper. That's all it is. And I'm gonna get into that. I wanted to touch on the kicking Bon Me to the curb for a second, though. Okay. my,
Okay.
my wife and I used to live right there. I mean, we used to live on
Mm-hmm.
right off of Elise, right
Yeah.
behind
Okay.
the Raising Canes down there. And
Yeah.
she used to hit shortstop a lot. She always wanted shortstop. I always wanted Bon Me boys.
Mm-hmm.
So we came to an agreement that she would try the banh mi because she always got the shrimp po' boy anyway. I was like, just try the shrimp banh
Yeah.
mi, like get the fire. What is it? The firecracker shrimp, or whatever. I was like, that's just
They
fire.
have
Like
they got a bang bang over there. Bang bang
bang
shrimp. Is
bang.
that the one?
That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Which I don't like. I'll be honest. I don't even eat the sandwiches that much. Like the po'
Mm-hmm.
boys or the banh mi. I'm always going
Mm-hmm.
for the salad or like the spring rolls. I
Oh yeah.
normally I'm weird. I go for the coffee. Like that's really what draws me in. I just go for
Oh
Vietnamese
yeah.
iced coffee.
I've heard good things about Vietnamese iced coffee for real.
That's my jam.
I mean I wouldn't say I like 100% kick them to the curb because I was going there a whole lot too. But it's just one of those things where you have something so much, eventually you gotta like chill. I gotta go get something else to eat. But no, one of the girls she knows me over there, and then my like director at work and a bunch of guys who work over there, they all go to buy me a lot. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you can call and they see your number on call ID and they be like, "You getting the usual? You
yeah.
getting the regular?" And it's like, yeah, for sure.
That was me. I worked for the baby cakes and I lived right there. So I was literally
Yeah,
always in the area. And it got to
man.
a point where I think I didn't go for like a month or two. And then I popped my head back in there and they're
Yep.
like, where you been? We haven't seen you in forever. I'm like, yo, it's been like a month. What do you mean?
I
Like,
love it. The customer
like
service is amazing.
yeah. But no, start binge cut. So I'm going shrimp. I'm starting shrimp.
Okay.
And I feel like the given is crawfish, right? But I'm
Hmm.
thinking deeper into it because I'm thinking barbecue shrimp. I'm thinking fried shrimp. I'm thinking boiled shrimp. Thinking shrimp po' boy. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking like
Yeah. So
there's
much.
more
Yeah.
to it.
All
Now
year
you could
round at that.
say, yeah, exactly. And you could say, I mean, you could do a lot of the same stuff with crawfish, but I'm going
Hmm.
shrimp. I'm benching crawfish. I'm
Hmm.
cutting oysters, but
Hmm.
even that is difficult for me because like char grilled oysters are so good. Like
Yeah.
it just puts them head and shoulders. I'm telling you, like
Man, I think one of the first times I ever had oyster was like it was like an oyster Rockefeller or something. We went to GW Fins. I had a relative that worked there at the time, and he's like, "You guys got to come through. You got to come through." So we came through for like probably for my wife's birthday or our anniversary or something like that. And he hooked us up, man. And it was
hell
like they
yeah,
brought the because we would have never ordered oysters. She don't really eat oysters either. So since they brought it, we were like, we kind of have to eat it. So we ate it and it was cool and everything. But yeah, I'm definitely getting more into like the fried oysters. Like if it's not fried, I'm probably not gonna want it. I'm probably not gonna want to do like broiled or whatever have you. So
I got you. It makes sense. They're a weird texture. I'm not a raw oyster
hmm
guy. I could eat them, but like
hmm
I'm not searching for them, to be honest with you.
hmm
Like we were my fiance and I have or fiance, my wife. I'm saying fiance, she'll kill
Oh,
me. And the
oh,
story
how
I'm
long
about
you
to
been married? Wait
tell,
a minute.
hold on. So the story I'm about to tell, it actually makes it funnier. So we're looking into restaurants and like hotels and things like that because our 1 year anniversary is March 12th.
Okay.
So we're trying to plan like what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go, and we were looking at I think it's called Seaside or Sea. I don't know. It's something like that.
Ooh, where's it at?
It's
It's in a
something
quarter.
like that. It's in the quarter. I've been there too, but I
I
never
feel
got
like it
oysters
is.
when I went there.
Is it seaside, seashore?
It's it's something. I wish I could remember
Oh,
it right
it's gonna
now.
bother
I
me. I know
know it's
somebody who
bothering
worked
me
there.
too. It's good. It's good food. So I went there for a work party a while back, and we had like the whole. It's a
Yeah.
small place, but we had the whole
Hmm.
top area. I didn't eat the oysters, but I had a bunch of other stuff. But it's really just an oyster place.
Yeah.
Um, and she was like, she had heard good things from a friend, and I was like, babe, you realize like it's literally like it's all about oysters, and she doesn't eat
Hmm.
raw oysters.
Uh.
Um, so we had that whole conversation, and I don't know what made me even bring that up, but yeah, I don't. I'm not really a raw oyster guy. We decided not to do that. We're gonna end up just hitting Jack Rose again, which is
Okay.
always
Yeah.
like a go-to. So
I
don't
haven't
look
even
for me
been
on
there
March 12th.
yet.
I just gave my location on my anniversary. Don't look for me. Oh
Let that
man,
man live. Leave him alone.
right? All right. What we got to talk about? Let's transition here. We
Yeah.
wanted to talk. We should probably talk basketball.
I
Obviously,
mean, yeah.
you
Come
know,
on.
you got a basketball podcast. Like I feel like you probably know
Yeah.
more. Well, you definitely know more about the stuff than I do. Um, let's talk Pels, but I had a conversation or I had a discussion I wanted to jump into with you about
Hmm.
yourself as well, which we'll get to.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, so when it comes to the Pels, though, obviously big win last night. We were feeling kind of low there for a minute, if we could be
Yeah.
real. You know,
Yeah.
I listened to your pod. You and I were thinking the same thing. I had written down, I told you I had written down like 10 discussions to have.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
listening to the pod. I'm like, damn, they talked about them all. Um, but so you're normally pretty even keel. You don't get too
Mm.
high, you don't get too low.
Yeah.
After last night, how do you feel? what are your thoughts walking away from that game? Just
I
let's dive into it.
I was not expecting to wake up and see that we won. Um, I've been going to. I mean, you've been seeing. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. I hit the gym
Right.
by like 6. So my bedtime's naturally 10 because I'm good on like 7 hours of sleep. I don't need like 9 or 10 hours. So right. So halftime around that time is bedtime. But I had fallen asleep like not even halfway through the first quarter on the couch. I'm just like flat on my back, sleep. And I wake up halfway through the second quarter, and I'm like, what's going on here? So whatever. I continue watching, kind of doze off a little bit, halftime. And I watched in the third quarter until Portland got up about, I want to say they got up by 8. And I turned it off. I went to bed. And right before I got on here with you, I finished watching the game, and I
Okay.
saw that we counted that run with an 8-0 run of ours, with an 8-0
Mm-hmm.
run of our own. So we tied it back up. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I feel like we haven't seen that team in a while. They get down, they get in the hole, and they can never dig themselves out. Um, I think now I'm a little bit more cautious about asking, like, are the Pelicans back? Like, I'm not gonna ask that yet. We'll see what happens after the road trip. If they were to win, like if they were to go 2-1 or go 3-0, I'd be like, maybe we can start having that conversation. But now I'm just still kind of like proceeding a little bit cautiously because I feel like I've been burned a lot this season with them. And now
Yeah.
we got all these injuries and stuff, and it's like guys have been playing out of their roles for so long because they gotta pick up the slack for somebody else who's hurt. It's not, I hate to use the word sustainable, but it's not sustainable. So it was a good win. They needed it. They definitely needed that to stop the bleeding, and the fan base needed it. So I feel, if I had to pick like one word for how I feel, it would be relieved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just happy that they won.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, I feel the same way. And, I actually didn't watch the first 3 quarters of the game. So maybe there's something to that as well. I turned it on in the fourth quarter.
uh,
Side note, and I admitted this recently to a lot of the guys in the know, but
mm,
I lost access to Bally Sports like
uh,
right before the All-Star break.
oh my
And I'm just
God.
like, I'm not paying for Bally Sports. Like it's not happening. So I've been finding other means to
Yeah, for
watch,
sure.
to watch the games.
Yeah.
Um, but last night we had so much going on and I wasn't able to watch it. So I hopped on late. It was like late at night.
Yeah.
Um, and was interested, but holding my breath like the whole time. Like
Mm-hmm.
the energy was there. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they are flying around. This is exciting. Like they look like they
Yeah.
used to look
Active
like there's
hands in the passing
defense.
lanes, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like this is exciting, but like hold my breath the whole game. We're at one point, I think we're up like 10 or 12. And I'm still there's like a minute and something left. And I'm still like
Yeah.
side-eyeing it. Like, like I don't know. Like,
Don't
and I
trust it. I don't
realized
trust it.
I'm like, damn, like I've lost that much trust in this team. Like
Yep.
it's rough. But no,
No lead is
definitely,
safe. It's this league of
yeah.
runs. I say that all the time, and the Pelicans are good for giving up a run. And yeah, they just really needed that win. And so I don't really know what version of Golden State we're looking at come, the next game. So I'm glad that they were able to get that, man. We don't need any more, 10-game skids, especially at this point in the season. Like those playing spots are they up for the taking. And they got
Oh,
a
for
couple of
sure.
teams behind us that are like on our heels for sure. So we got to start winning some games.
So you mentioned Golden State. We talked about the fourth quarter. It leads me to my next kind of question here, and it's something I've frequently talked about with Dave. I'll start like this. Do you think Willie found something with Herb Jones at the 5?
He might have. It's gonna take some more exploring. Like one game is a very small sample size, and I'm not even sure how many minutes he played at that spot, but it seemed like he was doing the right things. I don't want for him to all of a sudden start like relying on that. I don't want him to just like beat us over the head with that, because in the event that it doesn't work, we've seen him try things that don't work and he just keep on trying it. Um, so I appreciate that they tried something new and it just it
Right.
just happened to work out, because a lot of coaches or even players, they get stuck in their ways. And it was just nice to see that they were like, all right, we got to try something different, see what sticks, or just see what can work in the short term until we get back, a couple of
Right.
bodies.
I had it written down yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Two things. I was like, number one, is Willie stubborn, which sometimes, and number
Yeah.
two, is he just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks? Like that was another thing. Like I didn't know which way to go with it, you know?
Yeah,
Like
both can be true.
right, right. But the reason I brought up the Golden State transition and him playing the five, something I've talked about with Dave a lot, and I'd like to get your thoughts on. I always felt like maybe not long term, but like there's a glimpse of it.
Mm-hmm.
Herb Jones' game reminds me so much, and it's been said a lot, of
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green.
Yeah.
So naturally for me, putting in that position, putting him at the five, letting him also facilitate from the five, like it just
Mm-hmm.
feels like something that should work in today's era.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that. Maybe long term, what do you see him as? I know he's a little older too, but like, what are your thoughts on Herb playing the five? Is that sustainable? Not just,
I
I know
think
you said,
I'd still need to see more of it, but I also feel like I don't necessarily like that style of basketball so much. I don't necessarily like the death lineup small ball five thing a whole lot. I mean, hey, if it works and we're winning, I'm definitely not gonna complain about it. But if it doesn't work, you're gonna hear from me. You know what I mean? So there's certain matchups. I mean, I don't think he'd go out there and start Herb at the five. I think that would be way too much going
no,
on. I do think we need like, an actual center out there. And Billy tends to show up against like the more elite centers, like Jokic and guys of the likes. But yeah, I like for them to try it, but definitely don't rely on it too much, like see how it goes. But don't, live and die by it, because then you're gonna end up in trouble.
yeah, I feel that. I also agree, Billy. Listen, I'm a well-known Billy Hernan Gomez stan. Um, this is something I joke about all the time, but I love Billy, man. And it's my wife loves Billy. She always jokes that
Mhm.
like she's like, you look like Billy from behind, and I just
Oh
hold on
my
to that. I'm like,
what?
yes, yes, babe. I
Billy
don't know what that
is
means.
my wife's boyfriend. Every year she has like a new boyfriend on the team. Um, and last year Billy became like that guy, right? Um, this year now she started to call CJ sexy Steve Urkel, which is like the
Oh
most
Lord.
ridiculous thing ever. But hey, whatever keeps her interested in the game. She was a Steven Adams fan, he dipped out, so she had to pick someone new. But no, that's funny. You look like him from behind.
I'm like, what does that mean, babe? Like, can you elaborate? Can you explain?
Please, can we get a side by side? What are you talking about? Is it the
Right.
hair? Like, what is it?
I think it's the fade, to be completely honest. She's
Okay.
like, she's like the way your shoulders are, because she did tell me Lamar. She's like, the way your shoulders are, you're like broad. She's like, you don't really
Oh,
have any shape. I'm like, oh, thanks.
okay.
Um,
That's making more sense then. All right.
yeah. She's like, and then your hair, like, because he's got that bald fade, and I got it too. So I think that's what it is. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with that.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. Um, do you want to talk? So we do play Golden State soon. Do you want to
Yeah.
dive into that a little bit? I don't really have a lot of thoughts going in because I know there's a lot of injuries and like I
Yeah.
don't, but
I
I'd
don't
love to get your
either.
thoughts.
Just I think we're really gonna need Dyson. Um, maybe stick him out there on Clay or something like that. Put Herb on Poole, maybe. I don't really know. I don't even are they playing? Poole's playing.
I have no idea,
And yeah, Poole's
honestly.
playing.
Like,
I think I don't know. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, I don't know why I sound so confident, but I'm not really sure what to expect at all. And Golden State is just such a weird team, especially this season, but like you can never count them out. So even when they were at the bottom of the standings and they were like, playing terrible on the road and stuff, it's still like, I don't know. Don't count them out. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure what
it's
to expect from that, but we're gonna be getting together to watch the game. Hopefully, I'm not leaving there upset tomorrow night at like midnight.
there you go.
It's gonna suck.
Well, I mean, with that, so first things first, Jordan Poole's the type. He can always get hot if he is playing, even without
Yeah,
Steph. Like, you never know. Like, that team can get so hot. Clay can get hot. Like,
for
it's
sure.
just, you can never trust walking in there and thinking you're going to get a win. Also, they're really good at home, like you said.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but you mentioned you're going to watch the game with other folks. I'm assuming that's 12, Pels 12 related over at Mid City
yeah,
Yacht Club.
yeah. We'll be at the yacht club.
Okay. It brings up another thing I wanted to ask you, just as far as Pels 12, because we haven't really like it's there, it's a thing. It's
Yeah.
always putting together parties, things like that. It's been great for the community, obviously,
Mhm.
with you and your other co-founders really getting that stuff off the ground has been amazing. But like, are there plans for anything? And I'm just putting you on the spot here. We
Yeah,
didn't
no
talk about
worries.
this ahead of time at all. Um, are there plans for anything with that in the future, or is it going to be like a social group? Like, what's the long term vision for it?
I feel like we bounced a couple of ideas around as far as like what we want to do in the long term. I think for me personally, like the end goal would be to have like a section in the arena. And the team, I don't know, they acting kind of funny. I don't think that they want to go for it. So we would have to just like put our heads together, put our funds together, and we can just get group tickets for whatever individual games we want to go to. And we can
Right.
approach it that way. I feel like that'd be way easier. Because I don't think they want to play ball on that. Funny story, breaking news. Hold on, I'm getting ready to tell you something. I
Uh-oh.
didn't talk to a whole lot of people about this, but a little while back, the Pelicans had a watch party at the yacht club, and I think people just assumed that we were like involved with it, but we weren't. And they in the it was like a Corona rep. They reached out and they're like, "Hey, like this is what's going on at the yacht club on this day, yada yada yada, whatever. And here's the flyer if you want to promote it." But I mean, they didn't put our logo on it or anything, right? So
Right.
I'm like, all right, then. So I'm going back and forth, like, what do I want to do? And I'm like, we'll just kind of do the, take the killing with kindness approach. But when I got there though, I don't know what possessed me to like even like go in there and start like shaking hands with people and stuff. But there's a dude in there with a polo on. I go in there and I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Shake his hand, introduce myself, whatever. He's like, so how you want to do this? And I was like, I don't know. This is your party, not mine. Like, what? There's no way. There's no way you're going to sit up here and, yeah, you set it up, but you're not going to ask me to like run this now that I'm here. You guys, if you wanted to work with us, you would have worked with us on it, but you didn't reach out. And that just is what it is. But we had a contact who used to work for them who left in the off season. Now she works in Major League Baseball, actually.
Oh, dope.
So since she left, they just hired her replacement like I don't know, a month and a half ago. So it's like that contact left and she made sure she got my info so it could go to like the proper people, but I haven't heard from anybody since then.
Right.
And I'm not of the mind to be like, I'm gonna ask them. I'm like, no, they know we exist. Half the people in there have my phone number, even people in the front office. So it's like if it's a marketing thing. It's not the front office though. It's a marketing thing.
Oh, for
So
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
the marketing people, I don't know what they got going on, but they should probably work with us. So anyhow, that was a really long answer, but I want
That's
to
a
have
good
group
answer.
tickets. We need a section. Like the Red Rowdies have a section in the Toyota Center, and their logo is on the Toyota Center, like Houston Rockets seating map. So if you were to ever want to go in there and sit by them, you don't even have to ask anybody where they're at because the logo's on the map, so you know where they're at. It don't have to be that. They've been around since like 2008 or something like that. It
Right.
don't have to be that tomorrow, but like, I don't know. You can't just be everybody knows Yacht Club is our home bar, like for now, right? That's not a secret.
Right.
So that was some really weird stuff that happened, and I was not happy about it.
Hey, when you're the face of the franchise, you deal with weird situations like
I
that. They
was
just
not
expect
happy.
things out of you. You're the
Yeah,
cornerstone.
yeah,
I'm gonna keep
yeah.
giving you nicknames until one sticks.
I
Um,
be saying everybody want a piece of the action, but they don't want to share a piece of the pie. That's a problem.
that is a problem. That's how it goes. That's tough.
That's a problem. But
Everybody
I'm
wants
I'm
something.
focusing on like you said, I have my other like co-founders and everything. I'm focusing more on like building the Rail brand, right? Like I'm doing all this content and all
Yeah.
this stuff. So I'd rather like focus on that, and then the three of us can focus on the other stuff together. But yeah, like Cookie Lion said on Empire, I got to put me first.
Hell yeah. Shout out. I never finished Empire.
I just
Phenomenal
finished
show.
it. I just finished it earlier this week because I was like, I never finished because like, one day, and this is like the ongoing joke online, everybody just stopped watching one day and never went back. And so I was
Yeah.
like, I want to figure out where did they go wrong. And I figured out that it was around, I want to say the end of season 3 or something like that. Like Lucius and Cookie's car had like blown up, and when Lucius woke up in the hospital, he couldn't remember his family. And I said, you know what? This is the dumbest storyline. I'm not
Yeah.
watching this no more.
Yeah. I
So I
remember that.
finished it literally earlier this week, and I started maybe like less than 2 weeks ago. I just all the way through, just through the workday and everything. That show's ridiculous. The first 2 seasons, awesome, but
Oh
after
yeah.
that, it was like, nah,
I
man.
was I was hooked, man. I lived in Orlando. I worked for Disney at the time. And I
Ooh,
hadn't seen it. And there was
yeah.
a girl that I was talking to, and she was like, it was like her thing. She was like, "Oh, you gotta watch Empire with me." I'm like, all right, fine. So like we caught up, and then I just never watched it again. And it was after,
Yeah.
like, it was so, I remember that episode, but I really don't remember anything after that.
Yeah,
So it's
it just
like
wasn't interesting anymore. Like,
it just fell off for me. But no, it was the first. I was hooked. The first season got me. I was like, oh hell
yeah.
yeah.
And you know
So
what
I said,
changed though? I think it changed after season 2. And I've been saying this for like years and years and years, and I hope it's still correct. I was trying to look it up to like confirm it. But Timbaland was like the music producer for the show, and I think he was for first 2 seasons, but then in the 3rd season, you can tell like the style of the music kind of like it's not like a Timbaland production anymore. So that
right,
was another thing that kind of added to me not being that interested in it, because it's all about, you know, the music industry and this record label and the music now. It's not how good it was in the first 2 seasons. So
right.
that was kind of like a turn off. I
I
guess
feel
Timbaland
you.
was like, I'm out of here.
Probably stop paying. Everybody
He's
wants a
too
piece of the
expensive. That's
pie.
what it is. He's too expensive.
That's probably what it is. Oh man. All right. Let's see. Hmm, I had other things we could talk about. We're probably at about 30 minutes. How much longer you want to go here?
Yeah, we're at
This
about
is
30. Let's
yeah,
see. Let's give it another 15 or 20.
because we could just go off the rails. Me and
I
Dave, man,
know.
we just get
I
to talking
know.
sometimes.
We gotta get ready for that space though with Larry Nance
No, I know, I
co-hosting.
know.
Yeah.
And I need to go check on my daughter too. So let's not wrap it up, but let's close it out.
Let's start getting that way. Yeah, let's start heading
Two
that way.
two things. One last topic, and then I'll hop into that game I wanted to play, and then we'll close it
Got
out.
you.
Playoff race. At this point, what do we consider a successful season? All things
Uh
considered.
I would consider a success to get into the playoffs. I would consider it more of a success to get into the playoffs as 6 seed or higher. I don't know if we get higher, but that was originally my goal. Miss the play and get the 6 seed. But once we got to first on 2 different occasions and we're killing things in December, I got a little spoiled. And so then we drop all the way to 10th. I'm like, what is going on? You know, even
Right.
when we dropped to 5th, I was like, bro, what are we doing? But I had to keep reminding myself, you said 6. So if they can get back to 6, cool. But I think most people would say if they get to the same level as they did last year, then it's straight up like not a success. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think if they make the playoffs again this year, this is going to be the first time in like Pelicans history that they'll ever have gone to the playoffs in consecutive seasons. That's a big deal. Like for a team that'll go, you know, in 2022, but they hadn't been since 2018. And then before that, they hadn't been since what, like 2015? Like you have all these
Right.
gaps in between. I think it would be a really big deal for them to at least make the play in, get into the playoffs. And no matter what happens in the playoffs, you still built on something and kind of had some sort of like consistency. But I would love to get to the second round. Just don't know if that's gonna happen. At this point, I'm not even sure if we're gonna officially make the play in, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like there's too many moving parts. The standings are way too tight, and it could be like that all the way to like the last day of the season, just like in 2018. That playoff
Yeah.
race was crazy.
Yeah. Once again, I completely agree.
That's why I'm
Which
taking
is
Dave's
hard.
spot.
Yeah, yeah,
Sucker.
yeah. Well, let's go. No, it's interesting. You made a good point. It has been kind of a roller coaster, and I do forget that coming into the year, I felt the same way. I was saying,
Mhm.
4 seed is like that would be amazing, but 6 seed
Yeah.
is a success. Like that's what you want, right? You want to miss the
Right.
play in, and we're still in position to do that. I
Mhm.
feel negative about it. We're still in position to do that.
Yeah, it's been ugly
Um,
getting there, but it's like if you just remove all of the context and you're like, if somebody told you at the beginning of the season, this is where you would be, this is what your record is, like, would you be
right.
cool with it? I feel like I'd be cool with the record, but if someone said we were in 10th, I'd be like, what? No, because on paper, bro, on paper, we should at least be 4th, at least. But the people that's on the paper ain't on the court.
No,
And that's
that's true.
causing issues.
That's true. And just to echo something I say every time Dave and I have this conversation, unfortunately, like you are what your record says you are,
Yeah,
like we're
yeah.
a 500 team right now,
They're a
and
500 team.
we gotta figure out how to not be a 500 team, and in the
Right.
positive way, not in the negative way.
Yeah. So it's
Uh,
like a 500 team last year added Zion, and with Zion, they were awesome. But you take
mhm.
Zion away, they're the same team they were last year with these very small differences. You don't have Devontae and you have Josh, which we have a small sample size of that, and he I think will be better for us if
Yeah,
we were to sign him again in the offseason. Um, but then we also took Jax completely out of things. Like he don't get no run, and last year he was starting at the 4 or something. So. Um, yeah, it's for the most part, the same team. And so it's when you look at it that way, it kind of makes a lot more sense, I feel like. So
Right. And those are all, see, this is where we could get in the weeds. We're not gonna, those are all side topics we could jump into. Jax, should Jax be playing more? Jonas, like, is he, but like my take is he's banged up. He needs to sit down. He needs to rest up. And now he's officially hurt. So now he's actually resting up. But like,
man,
he's
a workhorse. Last year he was a workhorse for us. So it's a wonder that it's taken him this long to only have just missed his second game of the season. So I like JV, man. People give him a lot of issues, like a lot of flack, I guess, but a lot of stuff that be going on ain't his fault. They don't put him in a position to succeed. If he got a mismatch, why you not getting him the ball? The only person who want to give him the ball is Dyson, and Dyson don't play that much. So it's like, what do we do? You got to put him in a position to succeed. So I don't know. I get the frustration, but I don't think it's all his fault.
Oh, I don't think it's all his fault either. I just think there's a lot to that conversation. We can jump into that another time. Just
I'm gonna have to come back. I'll just come back.
Yeah, that's fine. We could do that. We like to do stuff in person, so maybe one day we'll all go somewhere and like we could actually set up somewhere and have some fun.
For sure. I was gonna ask you if you wanted me to come to the North Shore, bro, but then I was like, nah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't even want to put that on you. I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I ain't got no gas.
My wife asked me, she was like, "Is she coming here?" I was like, "Nah, it's fine." I didn't even ask.
I can come next time.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll set something up. Dave and I like to go places too. I think he said once the kid was born, he'd be able to get out a little bit more too, because he was just so worried about getting back and forth just in case.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is this their first kid?
Second.
I'm about to say, he think he gonna be out gallivanting when he just had a baby? I don't think so.
Yeah. I know. I'm thinking of it. We'll see. I don't know.
You gotta do the pie holding the baby. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. All right. Let's have some fun. Let's close it out with some fun. Yeah. And then if you got anything to plug, I always plug something at the end. So if you got anything to plug, think of that, and we'll talk through that. I'm gonna share my screen.
All right.
In Zoom fashion.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're gonna play a game. So for anybody that knows who Rel is, you've seen her on TikTok, on Instagram, even on Twitter, always having her name that Pel game. Yeah. Right? That's the name of the right name.
Who's that bird?
Who's that bird? See, I'm butchering it. I should know this.
Who's that bird?
I like that, actually. I like that. See, I could have came up with a much better name with that in context, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with what we got.
Yeah.
We're putting you on the spot. We're gonna call this name that player. We're not gonna keep doing this. This is just a you and I thing.
Okay.
But this is Crescent City Basketball Edition.
I'm nervous.
there's a caveat. They have all played for a New Orleans professional basketball team, whether that be the Hornets, the Pelicans, whatever you want to call them.
Oh snap! Okay.
And all of them will be wearing other teams' uniforms to just throw in a little difficulty, because some of them, some of them are pretty easy, but like we'll see where this goes.
Sometimes you see the people and you just like, yeah, I can see it. Sometimes you see the people and you're just like, man, I don't know who that is. I know who it is, but I don't. And so I understand people's issue when they play this. So I'm already like nervous because I'm like,
none of these, I'm gonna go in, but none of these are obscure guys. They're all guys that like they've started or played heavy minutes. Like, so
gotcha.
Let's get it. Number one, who's that guy?
That is PJ Brown.
Hell yeah. Slide out great.
Louisiana's finest. Yeah.
Right. PJ Brown. There you go.
The other jersey is a trip though. That'll throw you off.
That's what I was thinking. Because I came up with a list of names and I was like, I need to make this harder because like this is gonna be relatively easy. Because it's all guys that I love, to be as like transparent as possible.
There was like an era where I didn't watch the Hornets or Pelicans for like a good stretch of years. So I was like, if he put anybody in there from this span in time, I ain't gonna know.
Well, we about to see. I think you're gonna know all these people.
I was on hiatus. Oh my gosh, that is Gennaro Pargo.
Yeah, look at you, 2 for 2. That's easy though. Gennaro Pargo. Last time we were actually relevant in the play. Well, I say relevant. I mean, we did sweep the Blazers not too long ago. But
yeah, don't forget about that.
I thought he was bringing us to the promised land, man. Like against the
look
Spurs.
At those shorts, man.
He got hot. Oh my God. This total side story. I have an old gym bag. So I play in a lot of rec leagues. I know you play in rec leagues. And now I wear short shorts. I ain't even gonna lie. I wear short shorts all the time. but I had an old gym bag and I was going through it the other day and I forgot there was a zipper on the bottom for whatever reason.
Oh,
And I felt so I
yeah,
was like, what the hell is this? So I take it out and they're like, they're shorts from when I've been skinny. Like
yeah,
they're just like medium or large shorts, but they're
yeah.
like, I mean, they're like, they go past my knee. And I'm like,
Extra
God damn,
tall.
I used to wear these. What was I thinking?
Man, you get so much more freedom with the shorter shorts. I feel like
You do. You feel so much just
you move
fluid.
around better. You feel kept.
Capped. There you go.
Man,
Who we got?
is that Robert the tractor trailer?
It sure the hell is. Look at you. I even put it in quotes.
Man, yeah, tractor. There you go.
Look at you. 3 for 3. See, I knew you'd get these. Easy enough.
Hey, how many more you got though?
I
Oh
think I
my
had six. I
God,
think I had six total.
who is that? I
This is the
recognize.
hardest one.
Uh, I'm
I
gonna feel
had two
so
pictures of
crazy.
him, but this one was the better picture of him.
What what year or years did he play
Hmm.
for us? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head. I don't want
I'm
to
gonna
mess
feel
up
so
my.
crazy. Who is it? I don't know.
So I'll give
I'm
you
gonna
a
be so
hint.
mad.
He's a rapper, or he was a
Oh,
rapper.
aren't they all? Is that Dame Dollar? I'm just
He's
playing.
he's a lottery pick for the Hornets.
Wow.
Here, I'll just give it to you. Julian Juju
Wow.
Wright.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
You know, fun fact. I felt like he was gonna be the hardest one. He only played for the Raptors after us, and then immediately went overseas, and he was a
I
lottery pick.
You know what? I have seen that a lot. Looking on Basketball Reference, trying to find guys for who's that bird, and I've seen a lot of guys who just like ended their career with us. Like I want to say Terrence Jones came and played for us for like a year, and then he went back to Houston for like 3 games, and he was out of the league. Like I feel like I see that way more often than not, and I don't know if we're just career killers, or we're just like we're where you come to end your playoff streak.
Maybe, maybe. I almost fun. He's not on this list. I almost put James Posey on this list. I totally forgot about
I
him.
was gonna say you should have put Rasul Butler.
Yeah, so I really thought Rasul Butler was like a gimme, but here I am putting all these other guys, which are also like pretty easy.
Man, Julian,
Um,
right?
you're gonna know the next ones.
That's gonna suck.
You're gonna know the next ones.
Antonio Daniels.
Of
Look at those shoes,
course,
man. I feel like I remember
right,
those shoes specifically.
right.
Wow.
Supersonic's great.
I don't even know if I knew he played for them.
He played for the Thunder, really, but like he played. I think he was in Seattle for like a year before they moved.
That's crazy.
Back in the day.
The OG. I love
Last
that
one,
guy. Wow, David West. Number
easy.
30. For the David West episode. I get it. I see what you did
Well, the
there.
David West episode. See, you're with me. You're following along.
Man.
All right.
Love it.
That's that's all
I
I
didn't do
got.
too bad. I didn't do too
Too bad.
bad.
Perfect percentage. 5 for 5. Didn't
I
do
mean,
too
I didn't
bad.
get Julian, I didn't
Oh
get
yeah,
Julian.
4 for 5. You're right. I'm
Yeah.
giving it to you. That's all right. We'll
Damn.
take it.
That's
We'll
cool. I
take
will
it.
take it. I will take it. I have no shame. I don't think I've used, and that's another thing. I don't remember if I used Julian in my game.
I
Or
don't
if I
think you
did, I
have.
probably would have remembered. But I
I've
always
seen a
try to
lot of
like,
them.
even through those years when I was like on an NBA hiatus and like I had stopped watching football and everything back then too. I just picked the NBA back up and never got back to watching football. But when I try to pick players for the game, I always pick guys that I'm at least like familiar with for the most part. Because like I'm not gonna be out here like, wow, I can't believe you don't know who that is if I don't even know who it is. You know what I mean?
You'd be stumping me on some of those because I'd be like, damn, like, oh,
I've been having a lot of
he had a
fun
10-day
doing those.
contract. Like, who is this
Yeah,
dude?
see that, and that's another thing. I try to at least get somebody who's played at least 10 games. If you got a 10-day, you might play. Like you probably ain't playing, honestly, but if you're on a 10-day, it's probably like 3 or 4 games in there. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun playing the game with visiting fans because there's not this element of, oh my God, are you gonna embarrass me? Like I'll run into people that I know at the games and I'll be like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh no, I don't want to play the game. And I'm like, bro, I'm just saying hello to you. Like, relax. I'm not even doing that no more. And that's the reason why I stopped doing Who's That Bird so much, because everybody's afraid to play it. And now people are suddenly like, oh yeah, I want to play the game when I come. And I'm like, well, I've kind of moved on. I'm reaching a more wider audience by messing with the people who root for the other teams, so I can reach other fan bases and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. So I just walk up, I'm like, hey, like I'm looking for people who a fan of the visiting team. Like I just want to ask you a couple questions about how you think your season's going. And I also have some players, like some pictures of some former players. and we can see if you can name them. And they'd be like, all right, cool. But for Pelicans fans, they'd be like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
know.
Everybody shying away. They're like, I'm gonna look stupid. All these people gonna
Don't
know
be
me.
scared.
Yeah. I do love those. I love them a lot. I would have failed on a lot of them, to be honest. Like there was some where I was like, oh yeah, I
It's
know every
fun.
one of them. How do they not know? There's some that
Yeah.
I love. Like I was cracking up because like most fan bases are pretty good, right? Like they all
Mm-hmm.
know at least some of them. But then you got to the Lakers fans, and I'm like, I know every single player you're putting on this
Uh-huh.
thing, and they don't even know them. Like, what is
It
happening
wasn't
here?
fans back then, man. They just got there when LeBron got there. And that was the funny
Exactly.
part about finding people who had on LeBron jerseys. That's it, for sure. They just got there when LeBron got there. But like the one guy who got everybody I gave him, he had on a Kobe jersey. So when I
Yeah.
went up to talk to him, I was like, I have a feeling about this. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna knock it out of the park. And sure enough, he did. And I want to say he waited until after we played them again and they beat us. And then he shared the video on Instagram and he tagged me and he's talking trash. He was like, I had to wait until after we won. And
Yeah.
I was like,
That's what it
bro,
was.
how dare you? But yeah,
It's
those
all
are a lot
good.
of fun.
Viewers are views. We live
Exactly.
for it.
Exactly.
Well, that's it. We could wrap it up. We could close it out. We can
Yeah,
get to the spaces with Larry Nance. See what he's
for
got to say. It
sure.
should be
Yeah.
fun.
I think
Um,
you had said something about plugging something. I don't really have
yeah,
anything
yeah.
to plug besides Pels and Whistles, baby. That's it. On the Believe Network. We record like twice a week. Um, we try to keep things, lighthearted. It's not a lot of like, we don't argue. It's just like, hey, what do you think about this? Whatever have you. It's very, very laid back. I think people have described it as easy listening, and I
Yeah.
think that is an accurate description. So, yeah, if you go check it out, please leave a rating. If you look at it on YouTube, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a great listen. Go give it a listen. Also very knowledgeable. Like it's easy listening to you guys and just quickly understanding like what's going on.
Yeah,
Just
it
kind of
helps
the
to have
ins and outs.
Salerson, man. He's had 10 years on the mic for the team. So he's a pro. He's a
He
pro.
had such a beautiful transition into, I'm assuming, what was the sponsor for you guys the other day when you were talking about betting. And I was like, this guy, he is a
I
pro. Like,
always and we used to kind of like, like the little a little
yeah,
eye, a little wink, something like that, but now he knows like if I start talking about betting or if he asks me something about betting, we know like, all right, we're gonna segue into this. So yeah, he's funny. He's doing stuff for like I want to say Hawks Report or something like that now. So he's doing a lot of Atlanta
okay.
Hawk things. He moved out to Georgia and everything. So he's still very much involved in like all the basketball stuff. So it's funny that he has a Hawks dedicated thing that he does and a Pelicans dedicated thing too. So
Just
can't leave us.
all
Can
the
never leave.
birds. He's the bird man. Salerson, there we go. He's
Birdman
got a
hand
nickname
rub.
too, right?
Yeah.
Very
I'm gonna
cool.
tell him Birdman.
Oh
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, Rel, where can we follow you? Where can we follow the podcast?
So I just changed my Twitter name recently, actually, to @Rel Myers, RELMYERS. That's the same name on TikTok. My Instagram is actually Ariel Myers, ARIELLE. I just didn't want to change it because I actually know someone who has my same first and last name, and I don't want her to take that account. So
The
I have
pettiness.
a domain name that's my first and last name, .com. And she asked me, she's like, so I noticed you're not using your website anymore. Can I have the domain? I was like, no, I might need it later for something, so you can't have it. Like I've had this domain since like 2009, bro. It's mine. It's staying. So anyhow, I have a Linktree page. The Linktree screen name is Rel Myers, and that will take you to all of
Perfect.
my social pages. It'll take you to the Pels and Whistles homepage on the Believe website. It'll take you to my playback page because sometimes I do playback streaming. I haven't done that in a while, but that could be something that's coming soon. I'm actually supposed to be like collaborating with other people on. What else is on there? A link to the In Willie Green We Trust shirt. Now, a lot of people ain't been wanting to look at anything like that or buy anything like that lately. But hey, he tried something new and it worked and we won. And
We
that's
still
all I can
ride with
ask
Willie.
for. So I'm
We
still riding with Willie.
we still ride with Willie.
I think there's, we got to hold him accountable, but I don't think that it would be a good idea for us to get rid of the guy and give our new era their fourth new coach. I think that would be
No,
stupid. So
Willie, we building a family, and Willie's a part of the family, and we're just gonna roll
facts,
with him. We can criticize him. That's what
facts.
family members
Yeah,
do. It's fine.
exactly.
Um, Well, cool. I don't really have anything to plug tonight. You can follow us everywhere as you normally do at Who Effing Knows. Follow me at the Patty V. Dave will be back. Maybe next week, maybe not. Maybe we just replace him with Rel forever.
Yeah, we'll come back next week and talk about the road trip.
There you go. This was fun. But that's
For
it.
sure.
Until next time, we appreciate y'all. Just follow us everywhere, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. The know.com, always stuff on there. So appreciate y'all. Peace.
Peace.